everybody, back with another this will probably be a really straightforward, quick video. There's not that much that's really crazy about this job. It's just, you know, another tree falling job, but it's kind of cool because I'm out here in the woods. So this guy's got about 5 cottonwoods. They're really tall. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so here's one of them, real tall cottonwood, leaning towards the house, and then there are about 4 over there, and they're also, I think 2 of them are straight, and then 2 of them also lean towards the house. So I think I can fall all these trees. I'm gonna at least try to, but I'm gonna start with the ones I know I can fall. So probably the back 2 over there, and then once those are gone, I'll get a better look at the canopy, and I can fall this one. It does lean a bit that way, but I think with wedges we can get it to go over here. So he wants these cottonwoods removed, all the ones within striking distance of his house, and I don't blame him. Look at these ones over here. I mean, these are just, you know, I'm always bashing cottonwoods. They're just so weak. Look at this. Big old stump, didn't even uproot or anything, just straight up sheared off in the wind. This one fell years ago on the tip. I believe it did hit his house. This thing is just nasty. And then over here, this looks like the forest moon of Endor back here, which is actually Washington is where that was filmed. But look at another cottonwood over here. Big old cottonwood snag. Oh, this is a maple. That's a big maple. These big leaf maples aren't as strong as people think a lot of times either. Big leaf maple just totally sheared off there. Stuff's falling apart. It's things are just shearing off. You can kind of see why. I'm just trying to drop the trees that are in striking distance of his house. It's just these cottonwoods, they're just crappy wood. They're just weak. They suck up a bunch of water and they fail. So these are the other 4. They're really tall. They're like 130 feet tall, probably. I mean, they go way up there. So I'm gonna try to fall these 2 back there and then get a better look. I think I can fall these over here. We're gonna see. Like I said, it's and there's the house. So it's pretty far away. If I do have to climb it, they'll be pretty easy climbs. But obviously if I can cut them from the ground, I'd prefer to do that. So shouldn't be too crazy of a video. Just 5 trees to fall. I'll film it and just keep it short for you guys. Pretty scenery back here though. It's nice. You can see that the summer's over now. We're into fall here. It's pretty crazy how the beginning of September is summer and the end of it is October. The end of it is fall. We're in early October here. Actually, tomorrow's my wife and our 10-year wedding anniversary. I'll cut these down and let you guys watch. My 500i that Gordy ported for me. 32-inch bar. Skip tooth chain. Oh, no, sorry. This is semi-skip chain. See? Cutter. Empty drive length. Cutter. 2 empty drive lengths. Cutter. Empty drive length. So it's a little more teeth than the full skip. Generally speaking, when you got a lot of power, the more teeth, the faster it cuts. But the full comp takes forever to sharpen. So I like the semi-skip because it's a little bit more teeth, but it's not too bad to sharpen. All right, let's get this sucker down. Man, I sure do love this saw. The power to weight ratio is so good. It's so light. Didn't even need to wedge that one. I actually really like these little wedges, these 5.5s. They'll make fun of me. They're awesome. I mean, I didn't even use it on this tree, but they're just so nice because you can get them in so quickly and get a little bit of lift before sticking a bigger wedge in there. Well, 1 tree down, that one went over really easy. Look how good this saw cuts. Just really smooth. All right, let's go get those other trees down. And that thing had a lot of weight. You saw me, I kind of stayed in the cut a little bit before getting out of the way. That's just to prevent barber chairing because it actually leaned pretty hard. Yeah, these trees are definitely, they're far away from the house and they're still within striking distance. And this is square ground chain. I have an old Sylvie SDM4 square grinder. I think they were discontinued like in the 90s that I use. You can get the same results with the Symington. I just like running my Sylvie, but this is square ground chain. You really feel it. It's not, the thing that's nice about square ground, it's not just the speed you gain, just probably 20-25% speed, but it's just such a smooth cutting chain. All right, where are we gonna drop these? Areas are always dangerous because stuff really wants to fly back and smack you. All right, we got 2. I want to lay some trees down here, but I got these 2 cottonwoods. They're my way. One's dead and one, they're just cottonwoods, so I'm just gonna fall these 2. So I got a spot to lay down these other ones. That's just safer than trying to potentially get them hung up, you know, because they're so close to each other. If they don't have a lot of momentum when they start to fall, they can just get hung up. Yeah, we're in the rainforest here. baby's bore cut, and I'm gonna do a little cut back here. It'll be kind of like a snap cut. It'll all release at once. It leans really hard. I don't want this thing to barber chair like crazy. Use the back of my chain because the back of the chain is less likely to get stuck and grab. And I'm trying to like run away and my saw is hanging onto the tree. All right, we've got a little pathway for these ones. Watch out for those dead alders back there. They can really come all the way back here. It's crazy with these ported saws, you know, like you gotta be really careful when you're aiming. Just 1 second of wah, and it like totally changes the direction of your face cut. Yeah, look at those alders jiggling. One's next. All right, we got all 4 of these right here. That's nice. All right, now these 2. These aren't going there. They lean right towards the house. I can wedge this one. I probably need to cut that. I think it's an alder to be safe. I don't know about this one. I mean, this tree would pulverize it, but I'd just rather cut it. It's actually a maple. I'd rather just cut it than pulverize it and have wood flying everywhere. Yeah, I don't know about this one, but once I get this one out of the way, I'll have a better idea. This one does lean towards the house, but I just know in my gut that I can wedge it over. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do you get your face cuts to line up all the time? Which mine don't. They do not, definitely don't line up all the time. But a big tip to help is, after you get your gunning cut, just look down the kerf right there and you can better tell where to position your saw, and then try to dig in on this corner. And but just taking a quick gander down the kerf there, that'll help you line up your face cuts a lot better. I miss all the time, but that does help me. See, I actually did hit it that time. It's just because I could see it. I looked, you know, I started, I actually, see this? I actually missed it first, and then I just recorrected. It's really easy to do that with square ground chain. But yeah, looking through that kerf, it's super helpful. All right, one more. Man, this thing leans hard. I don't really like this one. Dang it. Okay, I gotta think for a second. Okay, look at this one. This thing's howling towards the house. But if we stand right here and we look straight up, we can see that it's leaning right there, right to the corner of that house. Now, because it leans this way, I can probably manipulate it to get it to about here or about here. Because there's more house on this side, I'm gonna try to swing it just to get into here. If I try to go 90 degrees, the hinge is just gonna break off. And if I try to lift it totally backwards without a rope in this thing, it's just not gonna happen. This thing is a big old banana. But I think maybe I'll even do the old scissor wheel, which probably won't help much, but maybe it will. I'm gonna aim it right here. That's my final decision. We're almost done with this job, folks. 1 tank of gas. I hit it that time too. It's really satisfying when you get the corner to corner, you know? All right, old scissor wheel. Okay, so in theory, this should pull fiber out of the bottom. So I'm gonna sever this old scissor wheel. The compression's over here, the tension's on the other side. So I'm gonna cut up this side first because the tension's is holding the tree like that, you know? So it's like a cable, you know? So I'm gonna cut the compression and the tension will still hold, and then I'm gonna try to leave as much wood as I can on that side because this thing leans toward the house and I'm trying to steer it, not quite 90 degrees, you know, I don't know, 80, 70 degrees. Something like that. So we're gonna cut this side first and just hope that scissor wheel holds on for a long time. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It worked perfect. It's a perfect scissor wheel, folks. So look, the tension wood is way stronger than the compression wood. You know, imagine if you're trying to hold something tall and upright, it'd be easier to do it with a rope than with something pushing it. Terrible analogy probably. Anyways, but the tension is way stronger than the compression. So I cut this side first and then this side is just holding it, right? And I'm cutting, leaving as much wood as I can here. And then we pulled fiber all the way down to the roots down there, holding on. I mean, it leaned towards the house and look how far we got it to swing, you know? And that saved me a lot of, it's not just about saving time. When they lean like this, they're dangerous to climb. They want to snap, they want to split apart, they want to break. This saved me a lot of time, but this was really a safety thing. I didn't want to climb this tree. It was too bendy. So this was just the safest way to do it. But look how well that scissor wheel, it went perfect. I'm so stoked. That's the best scissor wheel I've ever done. I've actually got 2 or 3 more to do. It'll just take me a minute. This one's kind of nasty. It does have some decay and stuff down here, down low. I need to cut it about face height, which is awkward, but we got this big old swell and decay down low, so we need to cut it about eye level. Never gets old. Trying to shoot between those two cottonwoods. A little tight shot. I'm stoked. Let's see how the hinge looks. Looks good. Yeah, it was rotten on the inside a little bit. Freaking sweet. I think I can put that one on top of it. Heck yeah, dude. You can buy this rig at westcoastsaw.com. My buddy Gordy makes this suspension, this faller's belt. We're gonna put this one right on top of that one. It's probably gonna bounce like crazy on that stump. My bar's pinched. This thing's set back. Dang. I'm gonna try to get this 10-inch one because it's low taper. Try to get to run parallel to my bar because there's a little gap. The only gap here is right by my bar. So I got that's the only spot I can get it in, right by the tip of my bar. Try to run it parallel. Oh man, this thing's really pinched. Look at that bounce, just not going in. Shoot, dude. Well, this sucks. I'm totally pinched bad. I thought this was pretty straight, but it actually leans. I should have known. It leans over there. I'm gonna take my bar off the power head. Try to get my bar and chain out of here. If not, I'm gonna do another face cut and drop it that way. Figure all those other ones went perfect. I had to have this one sit back on my saw. One of the things I really like about this style of clutch where it's inside the saw is you can get it out of the chain pretty easy. Like you try to do that with the 395, it's hard because you got this huge clutch sticking out. So at least I got the power head out. Now I can try to stick another wedge in on this side. All right, so I'll stick the another wedge on this side, run this one parallel, see if I can get the bar and chain on it. If I don't, I have to drop it that way, but I don't really like making a second cut on it. This curve is tight. I don't think I'm gonna get this out of here. Dang it, man. This is a lost cause. Try for one more minute. If I can't get it, then I'm out of here. See if this one moves at all. That'll tell me if I just did anything. It's not happening. I gotta do a second cut. All right, well, this was super stupid. I should have looked up better. It totally leans hard that way. And I can drop it that way. So there's no reason. I don't know what I was thinking. I faced it up this way. Anyways, pinched my bar. Just took my saw out. I'm gonna use my husky. And I'm just gonna do a notch right where it leans, really shallow. I don't really like doing this because it's like there's already a big weak point down here. And I'm doing another one up here. It's just it can get kind of unpredictable putting multiple cuts in it, but I don't have a choice. It's sat down too hard. I can't get any lift with my wedges. I just don't have that much room where my bar is. I mean, this thing leans hard because it sat back early. This is the Husky 592. This is supported by Nick Stockel, Redbeard Saws over in Minnesota. This saw, it's heavier than my 500, but it cuts faster. This saw absolutely rips. I love running this thing. I got it for free from Husky, and it came with a broken oiler hose, so I had to get that fixed, but now it runs great. Any deeper and I worry about the thing sitting down on my saw. It's already leaning the right way. Man, I don't like even being around this tree. I'm gonna cut it fast and I'm gonna run that way. I want this to be the hinge that goes and fails, not this one. I need this hinge when I'm done cutting to be thinner than that hinge so that this is the weak point. So I gotta cut this thing fast. I don't want to bore cut. I don't want to risk pinching another saw. I got a really sharp chain. We're gonna cut and run. Heart's pounding. Holy moly. Look how fast my saw cuts though. I did not like that. I'm gonna cut most of this off so that I'm not fighting this big piece of wood when I'm trying to get my bar and chain out. Honestly, I think this is probably my fastest cutting chainsaw. Ah, man, this thing's got a lot of compression. What a mess. Look how hard. Hold on. Look how hard that pushed down on my bar. You can see the rivets from my chain pushed into the wood. That thing sat down hard. Yeah, so this one's that you got. We both have Husqvarna chainsaws.
I try to steal
Yeah?
several, and I always have problem with flooding, and
Yeah.
I got that Husqvarna, and it just works.
Yeah.
I don't have to, no matter
Yeah.
what I do, I just let it sit in the shed. I bring it up next year, and it just works.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
This saw has a ton of power. All right, folks, well, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe. I just hit a million subscribers, which is cool, so thanks for that. And what else? Check out sappysupplies.com, and hopefully you enjoyed that. I almost had a perfect day where everything went perfect, but I had that one that sat back. The very last tree of the day. It's always the last tree, I tell you, man. But we're all safe. Customer's house is safe. We're good to go. It's wet, but it's a beautiful day out here in Washington State. If you need any tree work, reach out to me at guiltyoftreesin1@gmail.com. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.